Some say it's the best motoring show in the world. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down the top 10 Top Gear moments.
Headed on through. Yes, I've scored a goal at football! Oh.
Before we begin, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more great content.
For this list, we have looked at the 22 series of Top Gear since 2002, starring Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May.
We're neck and neck! I'm getting away!
Number 10, Ariel Atom Review.
This car goes like nothing you can possibly imagine.
Car reviews are Top Gear's bread and butter, from reasonably priced motors to supercars and one-off machines, including this, the Ariel Atom, which is designed so that the chassis is essentially its exoskeleton.
I have never ever driven anything that accelerates so fast!
It can do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, but the car isn't what makes this moment so memorable. In fact, it's hard to even think about the car when you're watching Clarkson's face melt away through sheer speed and lack of a windscreen. We're sure he's enjoying it, but it's difficult to tell.
This is driving nirvana!
Number 9, Car Boats.
Have you had a few problems?
No, I just had to make a bit of a detour.
Creating an amphibious car was a crazy challenge, even by Top Gear standards. The team had precious little success with the endeavour in Series 8.
This is the moment, look, it's the Titanic moment, look! It's going!
So, 2 seasons later, they tackled the task again with almost identical cars except some slight changes. A true test of how much they'd learned from their first try. It soon became clear they hadn't learned anything.
Our intentions are to go across the channel faster than Beardy Branson.
This time, they were bound across the channel to France. Clarkson proved the best of a bad bunch, but not before a few disasters and a couple of restarts.
Bloody hell! Mate,
What?
it's quite a lot of water, it's up to...
Oh, not again.
Number 8, Surviving Alabama.
Okay, it says here we must not be shot or arrested as we drive across the proud state of Alabama.
Top Gear is no stranger to controversy. The final episode with Clarkson, May and Hammond was full to bursting with it. But it's the US special which earns a place on our list.
Revenge for all those hype gags. Every time he's called me hamster.
This is for every time you've been late and lost.
Challenged to paint offensive slogans on each other's cars, the trio had to drive their freshly decorated rides across Alabama. Unsurprisingly, the locals weren't happy, and it all went wrong at a petrol station. One incensed owner and a pickup truck full of angry folk, and the boys soon fled for the border.
I'm doing something I never thought I'd do. I am running for the border.
God in heaven, that was actually frightening.
Number 7, Quaint My Ride.
It doesn't work. Your scheme does not work.
No, this is why you gave in the war. Oh, it's too difficult. This is what the British
My
do.
scheme is more... Oh, no.
Clarkson doesn't do simple challenges,
Instead of normal seats, wingback chairs.
so when he was tasked with redesigning the interior of an old Mercedes S-Class, he was in his element. Refusing everything a qualified designer suggests and demanding what is essentially a cottage in a car, he has the team fill the floor with concrete before installing wooden boards, a stove, a novelty gear stick, and a tiny armchair to turn his dream into reality. Which left time for just one more thing, a road test done by Hammond and May.
Turning in, turning!
Number 6, Car Auction.
On my right, 220, 220, 40, 240, 60, 260, 80, 280, 280, 300.
With £3,000 to spend, Clarkson, Hammond and May are sent to auction to buy a classic car. Hammond was surprisingly laid back, bidding on and buying the first car that came out. Clarkson was incredibly excited and quickly parted with his cash.
Have you thought, holy just bought that?
But in true Captain Slow style, May deliberated for too long and wound up with the last car of the day, which he didn't like or want.
Oh, God, I've got to buy it, mate.
1350,
Yes.
1350, 1400, 1450.
Still, at least a trip to sunny Mallorca should see them right, or not. Number 5, Ford Fiesta test.
If you are worried, there's an entry-level version which has no equipment on it at all, so there's nothing to go wrong.
After receiving a viewer complaint that Top Gear doesn't do serious car reviews anymore, Clarkson took matters into his own hands to test a Ford Fiesta.
There we are. Next.
With simple questions, simple answers, and clear demonstrations of what the car could do, it was a very concise feature. He showed us that the Ford could evade bad guys in the shopping centre and even assist the Royal Marines for a beach assault. Emerging from both everyday scenarios unscathed, who can argue with the final verdict?
Fiesta's come through with flying colours. Drive safely.
Number 4. Stretch Limo Challenge.
Here's a Top Gear top tip. Rent one of these, 35 quid a day. If someone you don't like very much, cut their car in half.
When the hosts modify cars, it rarely ends well, as their best laid plans prove impossible to execute. Here, they had to turn a standard motor into a stretch limo, then put it to the test by driving VIPs to the Brit Awards. Clarkson made the longest limo possible and ended the day with only half of it. Hammond created a convertible and actually made it to the show in one piece.
Jeremy's car is split in half. That means, by default if nothing else, I am the winner!
And May, who made a two-sided limo, didn't make it to the Brits at all, taking an unplanned detour instead.
Because I think if we go right...
No, are you doing this intentionally now?
No.
This section is just stupid.
Number 3. Reliant Robin Space Shuttle.
Reliant Robin.
An instantly recognisable car, when Clarkson tried to embrace the Reliant Robin, he wound up rolling it on every turn. But it's Hammond and May who take third place today, trying to turn the three-wheeler into a bona fide space shuttle.
And when the model was released from its tow plane, it's just plummeting to the earth.
Given that their thinking was based entirely on the car's pointiness, there were big question marks over how well they'd do. However, to everyone's surprise, the shuttle had a strong takeoff, but a disastrous landing. Better luck next time, guys. Number 2. Clarkson's P45. When Top Gear was given the chance to test drive the world's smallest car, the P50, it seemed only right that 6'5" Clarkson be the one to do it. Hilarious as this moment was, it's Clarkson's own attempt at creating the world's smallest car that makes our list.
I'm relaxed.
True, he looked like a sporty Dalek, but Clarkson tested it everywhere, outdoors, indoors, on the motorway. There are seemingly no limits to this ludicrous little runaround, provided you have a mechanic on call.
I mean, it takes a couple of guys minutes.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions.
I'm not certain when they told us that we needed 5,000 calories a day that we would in a slightly warm car sitting down, but better to be safe.
And there is the precious chassis. That is the basis of everything we're doing. Double.
With the testing team on board, we set off to the Bowls Club.
Don't overdo it, not with your back.
Look at the speed we're going now, 3 miles an hour, as you can see.
Oh, isn't this absolute fun?
Number 1. Killing the Toyota. Top Gear is well famous for its OTT approach, and when Toyota claimed that their Hilux pickup trucks were virtually indestructible, the team sniffed a challenge. But, after some careless driving, drowning it in the sea, dropping a caravan on it, hitting it with a wrecking ball, setting it on fire and parking it at the top of the building that was being demolished, the Hilux still worked. Apparently, it really can't be broken, so it was immortalised in the Top Gear studio from that point forward. Well played, that car.
It is still working!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo UK and subscribe for more great content.